Kruger National Park, South Africa, there once lived a lion named Mufa, an embodiment of strength and majesty. In his prime, Mufa was the epitome of pride, with a powerful physique, a thick, radiant mane, and eyes as sharp as lightning. Wherever he appeared, whether by the riverbanks deep within the dense forests or across the vast savanna, he commanded respect and fear. His hunts were displays of raw power, striking terror into antelopes, deer, and even the formidable hyenas. His roar echoed across the plains, a battle cry that proclaimed his reign over the untamed wilderness. The rangers of Kruger called Mufa the king without a throne. In his glorious years, no creature dared challenge his rule, but time, relentless and unforgiving, spared no one. The once mighty muscles weakened, his thick mane thinned, and his once lightning-fast strides grew heavy. Hunting became increasingly difficult, his speed no longer an advantage. His once loyal pride scattered, seeking a new leader, leaving Mufa alone to battle the unforgiving forces of nature. Hunger and solitude became his greatest adversaries. Each failed hunt chipped away at his pride. His once mighty steps now dragged across the scorching plains, burdened by exhaustion and age. Yet the cruelties of time were not the only threats he faced. The hyenas, once terrified of his presence, had now grown bold. They followed his every move, waiting for him to falter so they could strike. Many times, he was forced to lie hidden in the tall grass for hours, avoiding their relentless pursuit. In the vast park, there was a ranger named Beale, a man who had followed Mufa's journey since his youth. He had recorded the lion's greatest hunts, his proudest moments, and the silent passage of time in his thick notebook. As Mufa grew weaker, Siphon continued to observe him from afar, ready to intervene if necessary. To him, Mufa was not just a lion, he was the spirit of the savanna, a legacy worth preserving. One scorching afternoon, Mufa struggled across the dry grasslands, weakened from days without food. His breathing was heavy, his steps unsteady, as if he could sense an impending storm, and that storm came in the form of hyenas. They emerged from the distance, eyes gleaming with predatory intent. They knew the once mighty king was no longer the formidable force he had been. At first, they circled him, growling to unsettle their prey. Then, as Mufa hesitated, they lunged. Sharp teeth tore into his worn-out skin, staining his pale fur with streaks of red. His roar, once powerful enough to silence the plains, was now faint, lost in the wind. But fate had not abandoned Mufa just yet. Siphon and his patrol team, passing through the area, witnessed the brutal attack. Without hesitation, they sped toward the scene. Siphon leaped out of the vehicle, gripping a long wooden staff, and charged at the hyenas. His voice thundered across the plains, as fierce as any predator's roar. The hyenas, caught off guard by the sudden human presence, hesitated. Realizing they could not win this fight, they retreated, leaving Mufa gasping for breath in the golden light of dusk. The conservation team quickly assessed Mufa's injuries and decided he needed immediate medical attention. He was transported to a wildlife rescue center, where veterinarians worked tirelessly to treat the legend of Kruger. His wounds were meticulously cleaned and bandaged, and fluids were administered to restore his strength. At first, Mufa remained wary, his instincts telling him to fear human hands. But over time, he realized that these people meant no harm. They were here to save him. As days turned into weeks, Mufa slowly began to heal. His fur regained some of its former thickness, and the light in his eyes, once dulled by suffering, flickered back to life. Though he could never reclaim the strength of his youth, he was no longer alone. His steps, though slower, carried purpose. He was no longer the undisputed ruler of the plains, yet his presence still commanded reverence. Even his weakened roar, filled with a quiet determination, moved those who heard it. When news of Mufa's rescue spread, visitors flocked to the center to see the legendary lion. They listened to the tale of his rise, his struggles, and the courage of the rangers who saved him. Many were moved to tears at the sight of a king who had once ruled the wild, now living out his days in quiet dignity. Saifan often sat beside him, reminiscing about the days when Mufa had roamed freely, his roar shaking the heavens and earth alike. Though no longer the mighty warrior he once was, Mufa's existence carried profound significance for wildlife conservation. He became a living testament to the harsh realities of nature and the responsibility of humankind. As he appeared before visitors, his gaze was no longer fierce, but carried a quiet strength, one that evoked both admiration and sympathy. A reminder that while time may be relentless, compassion has the power to soften even the harshest endings. Mufa, the once great legend of Kruger, continued to live, spending his final days in the devoted care of those who honored his legacy, a timeless symbol of pride and the impermanence of all things. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts. Your support means the world to us.